Hello, everyone, and welcome to Game 3 of our first week in Heavy League this split here. We have AOE Hope currently 2-0 up on 4 Monkeys, 1 Coach. Again, kind of our old versus new matchup here. AOE Hope now taking blue side in Game 3 here. Again, this is a not best of 3, this is a block 3. So the first 2 games, it is so far a 2-0 in favor of AOE, but that does not mean we don't play Game 3. And Axe, you got to watch Game 2. We all got to watch Game 2. That was a dominant performance.
It really was, and everybody on AOE Hope camp played so well. And after 2 dominant games now here in this 3 block, I'm not optimistic for 4 Monkeys and 1 Coach in Game 3. It's looking rough. They're going to have to pull out all the stops to win this game, and I'm looking forward to what they bring to the table. That's a real jungler! Okay. Cam! We did it! Yes!
Okay, first game of the night for Monkeys is picking a jungler that is not below B tier. Okay.
Yeah, that's your jungler, man.
Also, first game that Trundle was actually banned away. Interestingly enough, they probably banned that away again because that is the number 1 counter pick to Xin Zhao. So if they didn't have the opportunity to be one, either that Trundle did being picked all 3 games here for AOE's jungler, Sack. How do you say it? Sac-Delay? Is that what?
Sac-Delay.
Okay, nice. That is so. Yeah, he has been driving all 3 games so far. So far, 100% win rate on it.
Yeah, it's gonna be J4 versus Blossom, right? And Blossom is on one of the best junglers in the game now. So hopefully she uses this opportunity to just steamroll this map, right? They get Ziggs as well. They get Aphelios. Professor Hex had a really nice game on Ziggs in game. And they had Vanilla ADC on Aphelios in Game 2, and he had a pretty good game there as well. So maybe this is the draft adaptation in Professor Hex.
Yeah, maybe. Now, they did, like you're saying, they drafted the Ziggs on R2, and then immediately after on R3, they locked in the Aphelios, so that does kind of limit that potential flex that you do get locking in Ziggs so early on, which is one of the main reasons that Ziggs can be picked early on. So it is kind of showing your hand as Aphelios definitely going to be our ADC here, unless we're doing something real whack in Game 3, and Ziggs most likely will be going down in the mid lane. And now we have that Lucian Leona locked in for AOE Hope as well here. Lucian's almost become like an assassin ADC similar to a Tristana, as he got very much buffed in the ADC position and a little bit nerfed in the mid lane. So a few patches ago, I would have said most likely Lucian, but now most likely ADC, and paired up with a Leona, that is a very strong kill lane there down in the bot.
See, I feel like Hope have given away the game here with this pick. I don't think Lucian Leona is a very good lane. I feel like they gotta put Lucian in the mid lane, and it's a pretty good matchup into Ziggs too. So I'm worried they've given up too much here. However, no second rotation bans from 4 Monkeys down in that bot lane, so they might have sold it to them. We'll see what happens here as the Gnar is hovered briefly. Hope looking to pick this one up again. That's for Wordles. Wordles wants the Gnar.
Yeah, it's gonna be the Gnar.
Gets the Gnar.
So down in the bot lane here for 4 Monkeys with that R3 pickup of Aphelios. Like I was saying in Game 2 draft, usually you like to pair that Aphelios with a support such as Braum, and then AOE actually heard me through the stream and banned Braum out on that 4th ban. So he's gonna have to be paired up with an Alistar, which doesn't have... Ooh, I like Lissandra, but Alistar does not have nearly as much disengage as a Braum does. He does have just about as much, if not way more, engage. It's just not going to be nearly as safe. So if they do get engaged on with this Aphelios Alistar, there's not a whole lot they can do other than try and kill the Lucian, which is just very hard to do based on the past 2 games with him on the Samira. He's pretty unkillable on these super powered AD carries in the early game. Like you're saying, Lissandra locked in now for AOE, that more supportive AP style for the mid lane that we have seen a whole lot through that Orianna as well in the past few games. He's a very strong control mage player. Now the Dr. Mundo lock in on R5.
Yeah, Basting said, give me Dr. Mundo, and they're going to lock it in for him. Uh, yeah, I mean, it's a charismatic champion, if nothing else. I don't know how that matchup with Gnar goes, but, um, he picked this last pick red side, so hopefully it's a good matchup for him. But I like the adaptation here. This puts a lot more power in the hands of Blossom, puts the power back in the hands of Professor Hex and Vanilla ADC. And Base Thing, who didn't really have a very good game too, gets put on hyper tank duty. So maybe this comp will work out better than any of the others have so far for 4 monkeys, 1 coach.
Yeah, and Dr. Mundo isn't even really like a hyper tank champion, as he can do a lot of damage that people definitely don't expect with the help of those cleavers. And he just goes, Mundo goes where Mundo pleases. Everyone knows that. So if Mundo pleases to invade this Jarvan, he's gonna go and invade that Jarvan, especially with a Zen Zhao. If anyone is going to be getting first blood, it's going to be a Zen Zhao. Zen Zhao last season, I believe across all 3 leagues, had the highest win rate of first bloods across all champion, which and it
Yeah.
like wasn't even close to any other champion. It was just Xin Zhao and then like a few other junglers and maybe mid laner champs. It's like, nope, Xin Zhao #1. If you're getting first blood, I'm expecting it to be with the Xin Zhao. And if I had to pick a lane, probably bot lane.
Yeah, I would say so as well. Um, I think he's going to provide a lot of pressure for the team, but also just a lot of agency for Blossom, who hasn't really had a lot the last 2 games,
Yeah.
right? Was on Ivern, was on Trundle, and it just didn't really work out very well for, getting put on shield duty and then whatever Trundle was trying to do in game 2 duty. Uh, there's not a lot of
Oh
opportunity
no.
to really shine there on the team, and now you're almost the central focus of the team, right? Especially in the early game. You're trying to get this team off the ground and bridge them into the late game, and all that's going to be on Blossom. The pressure's on. Can she do it?
Yeah, can she do it? And if there was a champion to pick, especially in the current meta, it would definitely be Xin Zhao to have that potential carry in this game 3 here. You're sitting 0-2 here. As for Monkeys 1 coach, you just want to pick up this 1 win here on the game 3. Nobody likes going 0-3 on the first week. That's just such a feels bad. You know that you're a better team than an 0-3 team. And maybe I'm just gonna cast a curse them and they're never gonna win a game ever. But
Oh
I
no.
I I would they're not gonna do that. They're gonna win. They're gonna
No
win this
way.
game.
Right?
You
Right?
Axman,
Yeah,
you put 32,000 points
I
on them
did.
in first game.
I did. Basing made me believe.
Oh
Oh
no.
no.
He did talk about their off meta picks quite a bit, and with some of these picks here, I am definitely seeing where he's coming from here a little bit.
Yeah, no, I do as well. Ziggs in the mid lane, bizarre, right? I mean, he's a mid, he's a mage, so he belongs there more than anywhere else. But we've seen Ziggs ADC for so long now that it is kind of off meta seeing him here in the mid lane. But this is probably the most meta draft they've had so far, and I like it. I like it. It's
Yeah,
good.
I like it too. There's the clear win condition of you get either Xin ahead, because Xin is a very strong win condition, and then even Aphelios. Aphelios, if he gets ahead and you're able to peel him off, which with this team comp is a little harder to do than AOE has, but if you are able to peel them off of an Aphelios, with his ultimate, he's gonna one shot your backline. Like that, he is Mr. 200 years. Like we can't forget that Aphelios is still such a strong champion. Just you just gotta keep him alive.
You really do. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, absolutely. And we will be going into game 3 here very shortly. But just before we do, we want to have a look across the other games happening in Heavy League currently. Now, SDC Death Cards versus Degenerate Spawn was rescheduled for another time. So far, none of those games have been played. And then Lotus obviously had a bye this week. So they're currently sitting 3-0 up on the standings just by default. But the other game currently being played alongside our streamed game is AOE Unleashed versus MG Infusion. Now, they're in their game 3 right now, and so far is a series 1-1. So not a 2-0 like we are currently on, but could be ending in the same score depending on if 4Monkeys is able to take this game 3 here, which we'll be going to very shortly, right after the spectator delay. So stay tuned. Axeman will be joining you on the Rift with Finnick.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, NBs of all ages, welcome back to the Excellency Heavy League. My name is Fennec, joined on the desk today with the lovely Axeman87, and we are into game number 3 between AOE Hope and 4Monkeys 1 Coach. 5-point start from both these teams. Mundo goes where he pleases, and we have a Lissandra, which is not a pick I've seen a whole lot of recently. Definitely one of the more explosive mid laners in the hands of specific people. One of 2 anti-assassins that are played in the mid lane, the other one being Galio. Not into an assassin, but unlike Galio, can make a bit more early rotations without the use of Predator, right? We see the electrocute come out from less than 3.
The jungle meta level 1 currently Fennec is to take the yellow trinket, drop a ward around the river, maybe go deeper, then reset, pick up red. Blossom doesn't do that, Sack Delay does. Seeing how that pans out for them here in the early game. There's no real deep vision out yet for 4Monkeys and 1 Coach.
Yeah. Blue buff start from both these junglers. I'm going to expect a bit of power farming into a level 3 gank, perhaps on this top side into this Mundo lane. Perhaps in this bottom side with this Aphelios and the Lucian. Or not the Aphelios and Lucian, with the Luna and the Lucian. Lissandra, though, let's talk a little bit about this pick, because, you know, you guys covered a little bit in draft, but it's so important when we see a pick that isn't really picked all that often, or isn't super high up in priority. We kind of go over what does their kit do, how do they actually want to play the game. Lissandra has a blink on a delay. The range of that blink depends on how long the delay is made. As you see a little bit of a Zenith Blade at bot side. She has an AOE root around her. She has an ultimate that stuns an enemy and keeps them in place for a long time, or if casted on an ally, will heal them. And then her Q is a projectile that goes through things and does damage. Lots of burst, and very good at dealing with assassins. Up against other mages, though, does better than Galio in these matchups, and that's all I can really say.
Yeah, she normally picked into assassins. I don't know how good this matchup is going to be for her. I don't think it's going to go too well, but less than 3 is...
Oh, Flag and Drag first blood, and Blossom's in trouble. Less than 3 has already made her way out. It's a double kill for Sack Delay. GG easy, go next, except is already game 3. Jokagi flashes out as he was pulled back in. Vanilla ADC flashes forward, Zenith Blade comes out. Vanilla ADC will get the kill onto the enemy Lucian as Basting goes down very low top side. Riley's here, so is Sack Delay. Flash, flag, drag, knocked back by the Alistar, but Vanilla ADC goes down. Sack Delay falls, the shutdown goes to the Alistar. And it's an explosive first 4 minutes as it's 3 and 2 already.
Yeah, let's take the replay here. Mid lane, it was the mid laners. Go figure. Going up against each other, it's less than 3. Professor Hex, he's on the attack, but look at Sack Delay with the flag and drag, gets the kill. And then the follow-up there by Blossom. Looked hopeful, but it just wasn't enough. Sack Delay picks up the double kill down bot side. A little bit of the dive. They pushed him back into the turret. He hopped as fast as he could, but it wasn't enough. Burns down 2. Or actually gets autoed there on the tail end by Vanilla ADC. And of course, that kill picked up by Anarchy Legend on Alistar just there at the end as he was able to knock up Sack Delay and actually shut him down. So, Professor X, not again!
Ooh. Barely makes his way out with the satchel charge there. Sack Delay was ready and waiting for Professor Hex. You know, Glacier Pass, Ring of Frost, very good combo, very good burst from Lissandra, but also a lot of escape as we see Blossom make his way here. Less than 3 has Glacial Path available and should be able to make his way out if less than 3 gets ganked, but Blossom decides against it and decides maybe it's time to go on Wordles, who has been shoving in this Mundo top side. Anarchy Legend around here too. Blossom gets the slow onto Wordles, lots of damage, follow up. And the flash popped out of Wordles, he kites back with the boomerang.
Wow.
He's out of there.
Yeah, just walks right out. That's rough. 3-man gank, that's got to be the kill every time. No way there. Just flashing and hopping out, I guess a lot of distance to be able to travel, a lot of mobility, but you got 3 there. You got Xin Zhao, you got Alistar, you have CC. you can't let Gnar out of that situation alive. This is a huge waste of time for Blossom and for Anarchy Legend. Less so Anarchy Legend. Support roams are just kind of built into the class there. Oh,
he's gonna play on vanilla ADC. Anarchy Legend.
He didn't get the message.
Pulverized though, Jokagi. Getting damage on Anarchy Levinus, but ADC comes in, but the TP flank, it comes in. Here comes less than 3. In with the ice path, gets the root onto 2. Anarchy Legend falls, and the next one, vanilla ADC. 1 kill apiece for Jokagi and less than 3.
No, they're going to take the dragon uncontested, but while they do, let's get that replay going. Let's see that one more time. I want to see them delete vanilla ADC. That was crazy. Like, yeah, there we go. There we go. Here's the replay. Yeah, we're not even trying to. Here we go. Yeah, just the raw footage. Oh, the Zenith blade in. It looked like they were getting pushed back, but
Basing got a kill top maybe on a Wordles. Lots of damage. Basing looks for the infected chainsaw, can't find it.
It's close.
Anarchy Legend, meanwhile, bot side down to 300 health. AOE Blossom, though, is around, catches out the enemy. Jarvan, Sacco late. Gotta be a little bit of trouble. Here we go, flag and drag. Professor Hex comes in with a Q. Okay, he's getting damage on Anarchy Legend and company. The TP comes in for the top laner, but it's a little bit too late as Professor X gets Jokagi, and you can't cancel those Wordles. He's down into the bottom lane, and now he's in trouble from basting. Basting, unable to make the infected chainsaw land, and will just be a 2-for-0 bot side for 4 monkeys, 1 coach.
There's those 8-minute teleports we were talking about in game 1, Finnick, that finally came to fruition, and they came a minute early here too. So, but the teleports did come through. Here's CS per minute coming up for you there. Those don't look like the right champions. One of those should be Lissandra. So that Silas is actually Lissandra there with the 7.1 CS per minute. So looking pretty good on the CS numbers. There's been a lot of rotations, a lot of big plays of the teleports too. That's why the CS numbers look a little low for...
Oh, Hex Flash from Rylai. Sandra charge away. Here comes the Glacial. Tanks a tower shot, but he's fine.
Man, the instant satchels from Professor Hex are so clutch, right? Provide him so much safety in this series so far. He's had Ziggs on 2 of the games now, and he's had really good games on both of them. And so I'm expecting big things from him here now, and part of that is just the satchels. Like, we all played Ziggs. It's difficult to get it just down instantly the way he is.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool to watch.
I mean, it reminds me of, if you'll forgive me for being a little bit dated here, it reminds me of Soldier from TF2.
Oh!
It's like rocket jumping all over the place.
You know what you remind me of? Soldier from Overwatch.
Wait, hold on.
Wait, what was his name?
on.
Soldier 76? Something like that. I don't care. Who
Oh,
plays
no.
Overwatch?
No, I'm
me.
not nearly that old. Come on.
I don't know. I'm just saying. Anarchy Legend looking to go in here. But they're about to get ganked.
Oh, Sacco late. Spotted on a ward, so... Can't convert it for now. Blossom mid lane, but less than 3's happy on Lissandra just to sit back here. Flash forward, gets the ult onto the... And there's the burst of Lissandra early on. 2-0 and 3. Less than 3. Doing so well once again.
Basin looking dangerous.
Infected Bonesaw lands on a Wordles. It's not an infected chainsaw, it's an infected Bonesaw. Because it's a fantasy setting.
Yeah, if he threw a chainsaw, that's game over. That's a one-shot kill. You ever try and catch a chainsaw?
I mean, no, but I know people who can chainsaw juggle.
Nah, me neither. Because I'm alive. That's why.
Well, but I mean, like, you can't learn to juggle chainsaws.
Nah, not me.
It is a fairly common trick.
I don't have the coordination for all that. Anarchy Legend.
I don't have the coordination for juggling at all. Have you ever tried juggling, Axeman?
No, I have not.
It's hard.
Stayed away.
It is so hard.
I'm juggling narrative lines right now.
Speaking of narrative
ADC.
lines, let's talk about this Lissandra. Does fall off in the late game. Has a lot of early bursts, has a lot of early roaming potential. We saw some of that from less than 3. Let's see if he's able to keep it up going into this mid game. About 5 minutes left in the lane phase, though.
Really is. Rift Herald's probably been on the map for the longest it has so far this series. Sack delay, I don't know if he's like, he definitely doesn't have top prio, so that might be why it stayed up so long. But he's also just had a lot of focus on the bot side. Yeah, they should
double
start up
things
now.
out. Yeah, Lysandra doing well up against the Ziggs. And once again, this isn't a traditionally good matchup for Lysandra. It's just Lesson 3 is so good. Mega Inferno Bomb used, second late dodges
Lawson,
it out.
You gotta fight! What?
I don't know about that one, Chief.
Nah, you
Anarchy
gotta fight.
Legend makes his way mid.
Let them fight. No, she doesn't have Gore Drinker. Sack delay does, so it's a good call there, but...
They have the Frozen Tomb available. Here comes the engage on to Hex. Right back into the Solar Flare. Zenith Blade flash out. Riley gets him with the Aftershock.
It was over and done pretty quickly there, Finnick.
Anarchy Legend might be the next on the table. Zenith Blade forward, gets the root. Pulverize, knock up. Lesson 3 is here. Anarchy Legend gets away.
I'll maintain that I don't like the Lucian Leona lane, but Leona, just like in any game, is so strong. Just so strong. Crazy. Zenith Blade shouldn't be allowed in the game. Solar Flare is nuts.
Leona's good. The thing, though, is I don't think that she's oppressive, like, even when she is good, right? Is kind of the thing. Like, you have potential answers to Leona as base tank picks up Mortals. That was just a little bit of a regressive trade for Mortals, but I will trade it for a Dragon at least. Second Dragon of the game, and the 10th of the series. Anarchy Legend tries to headbutt, pulverizes the Cataclysm, is faster on a vanilla ADC, who is flashed out of the way, but here comes Riley, Sack delay, picks up the kill. Anarchy Legend has to make his way away as the culling comes through. It's going to be 1-0 on the bot lane.
Culling just a base 22 shots. Does not have any crit. It now scales with crit strike. So it is just 22 shots. Pretty short. Used to be like 30 or something.
Yeah. And yet Lucian is still played in mid and bot lane because Riot Balance team.
Yeah. I mean, it doesn't seem very good.
Remember when Anivia was a DPS mage? Right?
No, I don't. I might have repressed those memories.
Remember when Anivia wasn't a burst mage and like her primary thing was Glacial Storm does a lot of DPS and yeah, you get burst off E, but like your primary damage ability was Glacial Storm. Yeah. You know how Anivia's primary damage ability isn't Glacial Storm anymore, and it's her E. This is the Riot of today. All right.
For those who are unfamiliar.
And I had to learn Cassiopeia to learn to play the mage style that I loved playing Anivia for so long. Mortal's getting ganked top side.
Yeah, they swapped lanes around top and bottom here. But for those who are unfamiliar, Finnick has to talk about Anivia every series. It's in his contract.
It is, in fact, in my contract. As it has been banned all 3 games. Here comes the flash sack delay into the solar flare. It's another kill. Vanilla ADC goes down, and they should find Anarchy Legend. As the Gnar pushes him back up against the wall. No stun there, but the stun comes through from the Leona regardless. Sack delay picks up the kill, and it's 2-0 in the bot lane, or top lane, excuse me.
Well, it took him a while. Anarchy Legend's got a lot of damage reduction with the ultimate there. He popped that, and yeah, it took a lot longer for them to kill him, but we got him down eventually. I don't think they have Rift Herald. No, Rift Herald's still up. Here's that gank here for you. Anarchy Legend sweeping the ward out, looking to support his friend Vanilla.
Mid lane!
Ooh, Jesus.
Less than 3 deletes Professor X. He tries for a Mega Inferno Bomb, and that's the instant go for less than 3. Gets him with a Frozen Tune. E, W, and a Q to rattle it out. Space Dang tanks up a culling to the face. As Mundo goes where he pleases.
Wow.
He still picks up the kill, though.
Jeez. That was wild. Here's that gold graph for you. It's all blue, folks, and it's starting to get bigger here. Rift Herald going down uncontested now for AOE Hope.
Still, I might add, 100% neutral objective control this entire series.
Yeah.
For
they
AOE
have
Hope.
not taken a single one.
For Monkeys, one coach hasn't taken a single one.
Yeah.
AOE's taken all of them.
They have.
Cloud stole this game, so maybe they decide not to, although the extra ult CDR is very good when you have a Lysandra and you have a Jarvan and a Leona.
So here's the thing. For Monkeys, one coach, they don't have any objectives. But this game, I would argue Blossom's probably having the best game of the series so far. And I would further argue that it's because they're on Xinjiao. So I think this is good still.
What? Ivern is a D tier jungler? Oh,
yes,
Axeman,
so
I feel like you should have said this at some other point.
I should have.
No,
You're right.
okay. Without flaming the
we'll talk about
draft
that in
too hard.
review.
Comfort matters a lot, especially in early season games. Up in Diamond, typically meta is where you, or this is where you start to see meta take place over comfort. Quite often is up here once we get into Diamond Lakes, right? But comfort still is a factor when you get the PSI up. It's still a factor even in Proving Grounds, right? And there's something to be said for that. But at the same time, it's like when your comfort isn't all that great, getting onto something that is a bit more meta, even though you're less comfortable on it, does make a difference, especially this high up. Anarchy Legend, meanwhile, engaged upon mid lane. Less than 3 has already expended the ultimate as Jokegi dodges away from the Moonlight Vigil. But Blossom flashes out,
Wow.
and a great ult from Less Than 3 picks up the kill. Oh no, Blossom dives too deep and he can't dive, and Lissandra with ultimate flash solar flare on it too, gets the root down from the Lissandra. It's another 2 kills to Less Than 3. Double kill for the Lissandra, 5-0-6. And this is an insane mid laner.
At this stage,
for AOE Hope.
I don't think there's any way back in the game for Monkeys at this rate. It's a 6K gold lead, and a lot of that gold is sacked on the mid laner once again. 4 members of AOE Hope have shutdown gold, have those bounties on their heads. Here's player gold here for you. Less than 3 on that Lissandra, just up, just so much gold. Like 3K by themselves over every member of 4 Monkeys here. They take third Dragon Hook test. Finish!
They have every Stormant. Take a look at this replay. It's nasty.
Yeah, this is wild. It looked like Jokagi was having a rough time, but nope. Nope, not even close. Not even close, baby.
Yeah,
His ultimates can drop down, that's it.
Excellent use of the Frozen Tune to punish the dive. That's, I believe, the longest point-and-click stun in the game, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so. Vanilla ADC did well to dodge the solar flare, but still gets hit by the corner of it, which drops a pretty heavy slow on you, so it does go down eventually anyway. Basting.
Mortal's in trouble. Here comes Less Than 3. Goes in, gets the ultimate. Can't get Basting down in time, though, as he's going to be able to heal back up with the ult himself. Mortals go down to AMB Blossom as Less Than 3 goes golden. This is a dead Lissandra, and the shutdown lands, but here comes Sack to Light coming in. Solar Flare into the Cataclysm of Anarch. He goes down very low, but he has not fallen quite yet. As Riley picks it up with the Zenith Blade. Here comes Jokagi with the Colic. Gets Basting down, and it's a traded 2 for 2. That's smart, but Vanilla ADC is the next one to fall. Double kill for Jokagi, and it's 3 for 2 for AOE Hope in the top lane.
Jokagi coming in with the damage there, Finnick. That was wild. He came out of nowhere with that. Previously, just been 3-2-4, kind of middling game so far for him, but brings the heat in the top lane out of nowhere. Professor X trades back a turret in the bot lane, but that's it. That's all he's gonna get. By the way, AOE Hope just all the way up.
Yeah, let's look at this gold graph. Everything's coming up AOE Hope. Yeah, a slight net worth advantage for 4 Monkeys, 1 coach there, but I mean, the fight still went the way of AOE Hope. They're still able to translate that into pressure around the map and a vision in the enemy jungle. And this vision game, I mean, Riley's been on top of it this entire series.
Really has. I mean, you look back at the Rel games, was just setting up every single play. I think every game so far, Riley has had more assists than any single carry on their team had kills. KP kill participation is always up there for them. They're sitting at 12 out of 18 right now. It's like 66%. That's sick. That's a nice KP.
It is sick. And you know, maybe I was premature in calling Riley my MVP of the series, because Less Than 3 really has been carrying these games. I mean, it's been both of them, really. Sack delay versus a flash on a Basting. Here comes Lissandra. Smell immune Mundo does not care, but there's the Zenith Blade, and Basting's dead. Jokagi with the kill credit. Solar Flare lands on an Anarchy Legend, who cleanses it off with the ultimate as he goes back towards mid lane. Professor X, meanwhile, split pushing, as you do when you're a Ziggs and you're behind. You just want towers.
Yeah, if you're wondering what the base thing's just getting shredded in these fights, a couple things. One, stacked armor, armor boots. He's got the bramble vest in there too. Second, the way his CC shield works is when you break it, he takes 8% of his max up. Ooh, less than 3 might be in trouble here.
Less than 3. Professor Hex cleanses off the ultimate. They are traded down to 200 health apiece, but less than 3 has the higher burst here potentially. Riley in trouble from Blossom mid lane, but shrugs that one off.
Yeah, so the way his CC shield works is when you pop it, he takes a bunch of % health damage. And the way less than 3's abilities work is that a lot of them will CC you, hard CC you, and deal a bunch of damage on top of that. So you talk about the normal damage that her ult is going to do. It's also dealing like 10% of his max health in damage, which is crazy. He's getting absolutely chunked out right now.
Yeah, that Bring of Frost does a heck of a lot of damage as well. As we mentioned, just, I mean, Lissandra, not a pick we see a lot of, but definitely disgusting in the right hands, and less than 3 just styling on him. Absolutely styling. 39.9k to 36k at the 21:30 mark here. About a 4k gold lead for AOE Hope. Not insurmountable by any means by 4Monkeys 1 coach, but as Axeman already said, it seems like the game's already over with less than 3 this far ahead, but perhaps they can make something happen here.
Ooh, Professor X is the most gold in the game. That seems wrong.
Yeah, well, it's because Professor X has been split pushing all this time, because you're a Ziggs and you're behind, you're gonna split push. He's taken so many towers. Dragon spawning just now, as Wordles and Basting traded out top side, but the inside track is for 4Monkeys 1 coach. And the ping goes onto the Baron. This will be their first neutral objective of the series if they're able to take it, as they will trade Cloud Soul for it.
I like that trade. I'll take that.
Cloud Soul really good on Lucian, though.
Yeah.
And they got it, and the Barons only have health. They don't have enough damage to take this Baron. Pulverize is out of the way for Wordles. Here comes less than 3. Wordles into the pit. Mega Inferno Bomb. Here comes Lissandra. Goes under the Glacial Path and decides not to take it as the Baron goes down to the Ziggs and gets executed, but Bastings falls, and it's a trade to top laners thus far. They're able to get Vanilla ADC. That's another one dead in a double cup evolution as Anarchy Legend gets caught up by a Solar Flare. Now gets caught up by Cycle Light, Flag, and Drag. Here comes the Pulverize. Anarchy Legend goes down very low, but here comes AOE Blossom. AOE Blossom has to flash over the wall. Here comes Jokagi. Sack the Light. Picks up the kill. Jokagi goes down to Professor X as he gets the shutdown gold. Anarchy Legend to 200 health. Here comes less than 3. Flash forward, gets the Q. And it's a 4 for 2 thus far. Sack delay. He's looking for Professor X. Professor X is nowhere to run. He's gonna try to flash away. And here comes Lissandra. Shot away. Shut down. Goes over. He gets another one. It's a double kill and a triple shutdown for Professor X. Riley is here though. Here comes the TP from Wordle. He has respawned. Riley goes down low. Triple kill through the Zonia's Hex. And here comes Hex. He pops the Zonia. Finally falls to Wordles, but Bastings respawns and he just looks for Wordles himself. Unofficial ace, but this might actually be the real ace going over to 4Monkeys 1 coach. Wordles is unable to get away from the Mundo. He's Mega Gnar, gets the Gnar up against the wall, no stun yet as the Lucian respawns. It's an extended fight, but this one might just fizzle out.
You see why Professor Hex has been taking Ziggs all game long. He's nuts on it. He's cracked, Finnick. That was crazy. Yeah, let's try to show it all here. Professor Hex just gets, he shows up to the party late, bunch of damage dropped down. Jokagi's like, wait a second, what's going on?
Mid lane, Jokagi got the ultimate. Here comes less than 3. He's on a Vanilla ADC, and he gets deleted by the Lissandra ultimate on the side. Anarchy Legend falls, and Blossom is next. Wordles with the kill. It's 3 for 0 in the mid lane, and you think 4Monkeys 1 coach might have a sliver of hope, and AOE Hope takes it away like their namesake.
They're going to force down that second turret mid lane. They got a wave arriving for him now. The wave clear from the Ziggs is pretty crazy, but this is 5 men. They can dive here, Finnick. See what they do.
And I might say that Baron buff's on 0, so there's no help for taking that Baron. Neutral objective, their first of the entire series, and it turns out for nothing for 4Monkeys 1 coach. It's got to be a bit of a heartbreak. Elder Dragon up in 330, Baron up in 340. This will be another 2 objectives to watch out for on our next flashpoints this game.
Honestly, we'll call that the moral victory. They got an objective. They did it. Heck yeah. That's a dub in my books.
You didn't get shut out of neutral objectives, you know?
Can I have my points back?
No. No, I don't know why you picked 4 Monkeys 1 coach in the first
Jake,
game of the series. With okay. With the draft that they had. I don't know why you took that.
Ivern's strong? I don't know.
You literally called him a D tier jungler.
I know.
You literally called Ivern. Okay.
It's been a hard night.
Here's the thing. I don't think it's so with 4 Monkeys 1 coach. It's easy to blame these games on draft. And we have because it's fun and it's funny, but it's it's another thing where AOE Hope's just capitalizing on a lot of these mistakes. AOE Hope's drafts haven't been perfect either. Like as we mentioned, this Lissandra or not Lissandra, the Lucian plus Leona lane, not incredibly great. Engage happening, Solar Flare. Here comes the Mega Inferno Bomb. It does a lot of damage, but less than 3 still gets a kill on a vanilla ADC. Flying and drag forward on AOE Blossom. Dose down, Cataclysm used. Anarchy Legend trying to get ahead, but pulverizes less than 3. Goes golden into the zone. He's Hourglass, but Professor X, he gets the kill. Here comes Sack Delay. Sack Delay has to fly drag over the wall. As the double kill goes over to Professor X. He goes golden, but Professor X will get the kill with a minefield. It's a triple kill for Professor X, and it's a 3 for 2. They still show some signs of life.
Yeah, got a little bit left in them there. Maybe trying to prolong this game. They got massive scaling coming through from the Ziggs, from the Mundo as well, and from Aphelios. So Aphelios has been set very far behind. Here's experience per player. It's still Professor Hex, Finnick. What is going on?
Yeah. It's late game Ziggs. He was like, I'm done being behind. We're about to hit that 30-minute mark. And he's taken so many towers this game. 4 Monkeys 1 coach, despite being at a network disadvantage for the entirety of the game, has taken way more towers than AOE Hope off the back of the Ziggs, and they were able to get an inhib tower for it as well. Riley comes in, gets an ult down on a Professor X, who cleanses it away, but the Zenith Blade comes in. Mega Inferno Bomb deletes Wordles from the face of the earth, but it's traded top lane for the support as the Zenith Blade comes out. Less than 3, just waiting for the ring rocks here, and the shutdown goes over. That is 850 into the pockets of less than 3.
That's not where you want it, Finnick, if you're a 4 Monkeys 1 coach fan, and I am.
So,
no.
So back to what we were talking before the fights. It's easy to blame this on draft, but it is also, I think, AOE Hope. This is a roster that's been together longer, and you see communication happening from them. With Riley really well as a support. They're able to get less than 3 of these kills in these early TP plays happening across the map. They're able to make these teamfight wombo combos happen, and that is the mark of a team that's worked together for a long enough time that they're comfortable playing with each other, and they know each other's selves and they know each other's things. Meanwhile, 4 Monkeys 1 coach, excuse that thought, Solar Flare used into the Zenith Blade. Here comes Anarchy Legend. He gets a headbutt pulverized with the TPs coming in from Wordles. And it's just a disengagement as they decide to go for the Elder Dragon. But like, it's really easy to blame these games on draft, but I don't think it's necessarily the draft. I think a lot of it is just AOE has more experience together as a team. Individual play is fairly good. Here comes Riley. He dives into an AOE Blossom. AOE Blossom goes to Zucchini, picks up an Energy Legend, and Vanilla ADC falls. Wordle's now on a Bastings. Bastings goes down. It's a 4 for 0. And now the Elder for AOE Hope.
Finnick! It's gotta be over at this stage, right? They're taking the resets here, but there's nothing left to do but to do it.
So signs of brightness for 4 Monkeys 1 coach. Before we continue, Professor X has looked absolutely insane on the Ziggs in both games that he's played it. And in fact, flashes away. And the Solar Flare, the ace goes over for the Leona.
Oh, gross.
But it is so important to note that they have flashes of brightness, right? Like, this just hasn't been a loss of everything, right?
Yeah.
And AOE Blossom looks the best she's looked this game on this Inzel. Yeah, the scoreline doesn't look nearly as good, but she was making the aggressive plays early that you kind of need to do on these heroes. And here's the fight around Elder. It's just a massacre because stat checks at this rate.
Yeah.
At the moment, it's just stat checks. Like, unless the Aphelios gets to the point where you can stat check Lucian, it's going to be that for the rest of this game. And it's possible to delay. but you have to find picks, and you have to find them onto the vulnerable members of AOE Hope, such as Wordles, who's constantly being split pushing, right?
Yeah, the pick potential from Four Monkeys One Coach comes from Blossom and Professor Hex right now. So you'd be watching them and try to see if they can catch anybody out. But beyond that, yeah, I think this one's basically over here, Finnick. There's just no time left.
How about 200 years? No, I agree with you.
There
I
is
think...
wave clear. They got a lot of wave clear.
So in another game that I cast, there is a AI-driven win probability.
Is this shuffleboard?
No, it's not shuffleboard.
Another old joke.
Anyway, there is a win probability graph based on AI. Two-man solar flare, no follow-up with the Zenith Blade. They're just gonna take the tower.
Take more than
And
that.
what I was about to say is, at this stage in the game, I typically will ask my co-caster, what is the win probability? What does the all-knowing AI say? This game, I'm gonna give it like a 96% for AOE Hope, and the 4%, as you mentioned, is Professor Hex, playing out of his mind and getting picks.
Well, I would argue Finnick is there's a 2% chance that some technical error causes this game to be rescheduled, and then 2% for Professor Hex. But yes, it's somewhere around there. Yeah. This has got to be it, right?
They have the Baron buff.
Yeah.
Inferno Bomb to disengage. Doesn't hit anyone though. Baron minions on this bot lane tower.
Cloud Soul too.
55 minutes or 55 seconds left on the Baron buff as we continue. There will be recalls channeled. They decide not to take it too deep. It's a little bit of a slow burn. They're out of Elder buff, so that might be why.
Yeah, ran out of the Elder a while back. I don't know. I feel like they could have ended when they had Elder, but they're gonna try and reset. They're taking jungle camps now, which is a little crazy. Here's the thing: at this stage of the game, scaling doesn't benefit you anymore, so stop trying to do it. It just benefits the enemy team. And not only that, but they're going to be able to scale harder because they have super minions pushing waves automatically into them. So here you either want to try and look
watch
for...
Solar Flare on Professor X. He satchel charges away. Here comes the calling, and there's nothing he can do. Jokagi on a rampage. As they take the top lane turret. They're just going for all the turrets. Going for 100% completion this time around.
Yeah, I think
only
like
missed
60.
one Baron the entire series for AOE Hope. It's been absolutely a treat to watch them play. Great macro, great team play from them. They've gotten 2 inhibs thus far.
This is it. Final push.
Facing steps forward. Here comes the damage.
Whoa.
Here comes the Jarvan. He's taken down. Very low. It's the flag and drag back, but Anarchy Legend still goes down as Wordles goes back in. The Lissandra ultimate's huge. They got the kill onto the ADC, but it goes back into Guardian Angel. Less than 3 falls, but it's already too late. It's 3 for 1. They're on to the Nexus Towers. Maybe Professor X can make something happen as he has respawned. They don't have a lot of turret damage. They got Inferno Bomb to clear the way, but it can't get too much more. Sack the light. He's very low. Goes into his own GA. As Jokagi tries to find Professor X on the side of the fight, he goes ahead and cleanses that off. Jokagi down to 200 health. Blossom goes down, but he's still able to take down the enemy ADC with them, but it's too little too late. AOE Hope win the series 3-0.
It's a great effort from the Four Monkeys and their coach, Professor Hex Finnick. But at the end of the day, it just was not enough in any of the 3 of this 3-block series. This was a tough one to watch. I thought this series would be a lot closer than it was. It's week 1. We don't know too much about these teams. What we did know is that AOE Hope had been practicing a lot longer and had been a team together much longer too. So I think that probably factored into how they played tonight. You could see it in the combos they were pulling off, right? Game 1, massive combos between Cassiopeia and the Rel there. Same thing in Game 2 and Game 3, maybe to a lesser extent, because at some point they realized they didn't really have to pull off big combos like that. Yeah, no, this is a more refined team. We'll say that.
Yeah, and it's just under experience. This team has been an AOE development squad for a while, as you heard in the interview with Assisted, right? And this is, this is one of those cases where experience trumps all, and you know, this is a learning experience for the side of Forward Monkeys one coach. I hope that they can take this loss, learn from it, and continue to build throughout the rest of the season. Maybe not picking D-tier junglers next time. Sorry, that's the last take of the night. We're going to send it to a quick break, but when we return, we will have an interview with Less Than 3. You won't want to go anywhere.